I was standing by the punch bowl when my niece looked me up and down and said, loud enough for everyone to hear, Aunt Emma, are you still wearing that sad little dress from 10 years ago? The room went quiet. 43 people. Cousins, aunts, uncles, children running between tables. All stopped. Forks hung in the air. Someone's baby made a small sound, but no one spoke. They just stared at me. At my pale blue dress with the tiny flowers. At my worn black flats. At my face, going hot with shame. Hey family, quick question for you. How does this new voice sound in your ears? Is it comfortable? Clear? Easy to follow? If you love it, please hit the like button and drop a quick comment so I know I'm on the right track. If it's not your taste, don't hesitate to tell me in the comments too. Your feedback is what helps me adjust and grow. And if there's another voice style you'd love me to try, just say it. I'm here because of you, and I've stayed consistent because you keep watching, correcting, and supporting me. Let's keep growing together. Now let me tell you how I got to that moment. My name is Emma. I am 45 years old. I work as a nurse at County General Hospital. I have worked there for 22 years. I take care of people when they are scared and hurting. I hold their hands. I wipe their tears. I do not make much money. But I sleep well at night because I know I help people. I raised my niece Sarah after her mother. My sister died when Sarah was 12. I took her into my small apartment. I cooked her breakfast every morning. I helped her with homework at my kitchen table. I worked double shifts so she could have new school supplies and a prom dress. I loved her like my own daughter, and she went on to do great things. She became a lawyer, a corporate lawyer at a big fancy firm downtown. She married a man named Marcus, a judge, respected and quiet. They lived in a beautiful house with white columns. They drove expensive cars, and I was so proud of her. Friend, before I tell you what happened next at that reunion, please tap subscribe. Stay with me, because what I'm about to share will show you how quickly pride can poison love. You need to see what happened when everything fell apart. The reunion was at my cousin Dorothy's house. Big backyard. Long tables covered in white cloths. Platters of fried chicken, mac and cheese, collard greens, cornbread. The smell of barbecue smoke floating through the air. Kids laughing. Music playing low. It was supposed to be a happy day. I came alone. I always come alone. My husband died 6 years ago. Sometimes I still set his coffee cup out in the morning before I remember. But I was excited that day. I had not seen some of these people in 2 years. I wore my pale blue dress, the one with the small yellow flowers. It was clean, pressed. It was my favorite. I bought it the summer before my husband died. He said I looked like mourning in it. I parked my old Honda between two shiny SUVs. I walked through the side gate carrying a peach cobbler I made that morning. I saw Sarah first. She was standing near the beverage table with Marcus. She wore a cream pantsuit that probably cost more than my monthly rent. Her hair was straightened and shining. Gold jewelry flashed at her wrists and neck. She looked like success, like everything I had worked so hard to give her the chance to become. "Aunt Emma!" she called out, but her smile did not reach her eyes. I walked over. I set down my cobbler. I hugged her. She felt stiff in my arms. Marcus nodded at me. He was a tall man, dark suit even at a family barbecue, serious eyes. He shook my hand. His grip was firm but brief. "It's so good to see you," I said. "Mm-hmm," Sarah said. She looked at my dress, then at my shoes. Something flickered across her face. I could not name it then, but I would remember it later. We made small talk. Weather, traffic, work. Then Sarah's voice changed, got louder. She turned slightly so more people could hear. "So Aunt Emma, you're still at County General? Still doing the night shift?" Yes, I said. I like nights. Quieter. More time with patients. That's sweet, she said. Her tone was not sweet. But don't you ever want more? I mean, you've been doing the same thing for over 20 years. Don't you feel like you wasted your potential? The words hit me like cold water. I blinked. I don't think helping people is a waste. Of course not, she said quickly. Too quickly. But you're so smart, Aunt Emma. You could have been a doctor, a nurse practitioner at least. Something with real money, real status. She gestured at herself. I mean, look at what's possible when you push yourself. People were watching now. My cousin Jerome stopped mid-bite. Aunt Patricia's eyes went wide. I felt my chest tighten. I'm proud of what I do, I said softly. I'm sure you are, Sarah said. Her smile was sharp. But let's be honest. You've been wearing that same dress to every family event for years. When's the last time you bought yourself something nice? She laughed. It was not a kind laugh. I'm just saying, maybe if you'd been more ambitious, you wouldn't be living paycheck to paycheck at your age. The silence was thick, heavy. I could not breathe right. Marcus was staring at Sarah. His jaw was tight, but he did not speak. No one spoke. They just looked at me, at my pale blue dress, at my worn shoes, at my empty ring finger where my wedding band used to be before I sold it to help pay for... But I will tell you about that later. I opened my mouth. No words came. What could I say? That I chose love over money? That I chose care over career climbing? That every double shift I worked had a purpose she did not know about? Sarah, Marcus said quietly. Just her name. But there was something in his voice. A warning, maybe. She waved him off. I'm just being real, Marcus. Aunt Emma knows I love her. I just want better for her. She looked at me. You deserve better. You just never figured out how to get it. My hands were shaking. I put them behind my back. I would not cry. Not here. Not in front of everyone. I smiled. A small, broken smile. Excuse me, I said. I need some air. I turned to walk away. And that is when Marcus reached into his jacket and pulled out a large manila envelope. Actually, Sarah, he said, his voice calm and clear, before anyone goes anywhere, there's something you need to see. Sarah turned to look at Marcus. Her smile was still on her face, but it was starting to crack at the edges. Marcus, what are you doing? She said. Her voice had gone up half a note, high, tight. Marcus did not smile back. He held out the envelope. These are divorce papers, Sarah. I'm serving them to you now. In front of your family. The same family you just humiliated your aunt in front of. The silence that followed was different from before. Before, it was uncomfortable. Now it was shock. Pure shock. Someone dropped a plastic cup. It bounced twice on the grass. No one picked it up. Sarah's face went white, then red, then white again. You're joking, she whispered. But her hands were shaking when she took the envelope. She did not open it. She just held it like it might burn her. I'm not joking, Marcus said. His voice was still calm, still steady, like he was reading a verdict in court. I filed them 3 days ago. I've been waiting for the right moment. And after watching you tear down the kindest woman in this family, I realized there's no better time than now. Marcus, stop, Sarah said. Her eyes darted around. Everyone was staring. Cousin Dorothy had her hand over her mouth. Aunt Patricia was gripping Uncle James's arm. The kids had stopped playing. Even the music seemed quieter. We can talk about this at home, not here, please. No, Marcus said. You wanted to make a public statement about success and failure, about who has value and who doesn't. So let's be public. He turned slightly so everyone could hear him clearly. For the past 8 months, I've been investigating financial irregularities at your law firm. Not because I wanted to, because the managing partners asked me to help quietly before they involved the police. Sarah's face went grey. Marcus, you've been embezzling, Sarah. His voice did not rise, did not waver, just stated fact. Small amounts at first, then larger. Client trust funds, retainer fees that should have been returned. You've taken over $200,000 in the past 3 years. I could not move, could not breathe. I stood there with my mouth half open, my mind trying to catch up to his words. Sarah was shaking her head. That's not... I didn't... I have the bank statements, Marcus said. I have the transfer records. I have emails where you created fake vendor accounts to funnel money. The firm has everything, Sarah. They're giving you 1 week to return the money before they press charges. I've already liquidated most of our assets to start repaying them. Our house, our cars, everything we've been showing off. He paused, looked at her directly. Everything you used to make yourself feel superior to people like your aunt. Friend, I need to stop here for just a breath and ask you something. If this story is gripping you, if you need to know what happened next, please subscribe right now. Because what I'm about to tell you changed everything I thought I knew about my niece, about myself, and about what real wealth actually means. Sarah's knees buckled. She did not fall, but she swayed. Marcus caught her elbow. Not gently, just to steady her. Why? She whispered. Why are you doing this here? Because you did it here, Marcus said. You chose this moment to humiliate someone who sacrificed everything for you. Someone who never asked for thanks or recognition. And I'm tired of watching you pretend to be something you're not, while stepping on people who are actually good. Tears started running down Sarah's face. Her makeup smeared. Black lines traced down her cheeks. She looked at me. Her mouth opened, closed, opened again. Aunt Emma, But Marcus was not finished. Do you want to know why I really started investigating? He looked around at the family, at all the faces watching. 6 months ago, I was handling a routine estate planning case. The client was updating her will and trust documents. Small estate, very modest. But she wanted to make sure certain payments continued after her death. He turned to me. His eyes softened just slightly. That client was your Aunt Emma. My heart stopped. I had not told anyone about that. I made him promise not to tell anyone. What payments? Aunt Patricia asked. Her voice cracked. Marcus kept his eyes on me. For the past 4 years, Emma has been paying the full tuition for Sarah's younger sister Maya, medical school, books, housing, everything. $28,000 a year, every year. On a nurse's salary. The sound that came from the family was like wind, a collective inhale, shock. Dorothy gasped. Jerome said, "Oh my God." Even the children seemed to sense something big had been said. Sarah's face crumpled. "No," she whispered. "No, no, no." "Yes," Marcus said. "And do you remember what you told everyone? You told them you were paying for Maya's school. You took credit for your aunt's generosity. You used it to make yourself look even more successful, even more giving, while Emma worked double shifts and wore the same dress for years because she was putting every extra dollar toward your sister's future." I wanted to speak, to explain, but my throat was closed. Tears were burning behind my eyes, and if I opened my mouth, they would spill out. Sarah turned to me. Her face was destroyed, makeup smeared, eyes red, mouth trembling. "Why?" she choked out. "Why didn't you tell anyone?" "Because it was not about credit," I said quietly. My voice sounded strange, far away. It was about family. It was about giving Maya a chance, the same chance I tried to give you. Sarah dropped the envelope. It fell to the grass. Papers slipped halfway out. Legal words. Petition for dissolution of marriage. She covered her face with her hands and sobbed. Not quiet crying. Big, choking sobs that shook her whole body. No one moved to comfort her. Not yet. The truth was too fresh. Too raw. Marcus picked up the envelope, straightened the papers. "I loved you, Sarah," he said. His voice was quieter now. Sad. "I loved the woman I thought you were. But somewhere along the way, you started believing that success was about looking better than everyone else, about having more, being more. And you lost sight of what actually matters." He looked at me again. "Your aunt worked herself to exhaustion so you could have opportunities. She gave up her own comfort, her own security. She never complained, never bragged, and today you mocked her for it." Sarah's sobs grew louder. She sank down onto a folding chair. Her expensive pantsuit wrinkled. Her gold jewelry caught the sunlight, flashing like little accusations. I stood there, holding my own arms, feeling the weight of every eye on me. Some looked at me with pity, some with respect, some with confusion. But they all looked. And for the first time, they really saw me. Not the quiet aunt who always stayed in the background. Not the poor nurse who never climbed higher. They saw someone who gave everything and asked for nothing. Marcus folded the envelope and held it loosely at his side. "The divorce can wait," he said quietly, "but the truth couldn't." Sarah lifted her head. Her face was a mess. "I'm sorry," she whispered. But she was not looking at Marcus. She was looking at me. "Aunt Emma, I'm so sorry." But there was more she did not know. More I had never told anyone. And what I was about to reveal would explain everything. Why I never climbed the career ladder. Why I never remarried. Why I lived so simply all these years. Because Maya was not the only person I had been supporting. I looked at Sarah sitting in that chair, broken and crying, and I felt something shift inside me. Not anger, not satisfaction, just a deep, tired sadness. Because I knew her pain. I knew what it felt like to be afraid you were not enough. "Stand up, Sarah," I said softly. She looked up at me. Her eyes were swollen, mascara streaked down to her jaw. She stood slowly, like her legs were not sure they would hold her. I stepped closer. The family was still watching, still silent, waiting. "You want to know why I never told anyone about Maya's tuition?" I said. "You want to know why I work night shifts and wear old dresses and drive a car that barely starts in winter?" Sarah nodded, could not speak, just nodded. "Because 5 years ago, your little cousin David, Dorothy's son, was diagnosed with leukemia." I heard Dorothy make a small sound behind me. "His treatment was going to bankrupt them. Insurance covered some. Not enough. Never enough. So I started helping. A little every month. Sometimes more when things got bad. I have been doing that for 5 years." Dorothy was crying now. Soft, quiet tears. Her husband had his arm around her. "And 3 years ago," I continued, "Aunt Patricia's husband had his stroke. The nursing home bills were crushing her. So I helped with those too. Not much. What I could spare. Enough that she could keep him somewhere clean. Somewhere safe. Somewhere with people who would not just let him sit in his own waste." Aunt Patricia's hand flew to her mouth. Uncle James closed his eyes. "And last year," I said, my voice starting to shake now, "when Cousin Jerome lost his job and was about to lose his house, the house his children grew up in, I took out a loan against my pension. I gave him $8,000 to catch up on his mortgage. He thought it was from a church fund. It was not. Jerome made a choking sound. Emma, he whispered. Emma, I didn't know. I didn't. You were not supposed to know, I said. I looked around at all of them, at my family. None of you were, because I did not do it for recognition. I did it because that is what family does. Real family. We lift each other up. We sacrifice. We give, without counting the cost. I turned back to Sarah. She was shaking, her whole body trembling. You think I failed because I am not a doctor? Because I do not have a big house? Because I wear the same dress? My voice was stronger now, clear. I succeeded, Sarah. I succeeded in ways you stopped measuring. I kept our family together. I kept people alive. I kept roofs over heads and children in school, and sick people comfortable in their final days. I know, Sarah whispered. I know. And I'm so sorry. I just... She stopped, swallowed hard. I felt like I could never be enough, like no matter what I did, I could never be as good as you. So I tried to be better in other ways, bigger ways, shinier ways. She looked down at her expensive clothes, her gold jewelry, but it was all fake, all of it. The clothes, the success, the generosity I pretended to have. I was so busy trying to look like I mattered that I forgot how to actually matter. Marcus was watching Sarah carefully. His face was still hard, but something had softened in his eyes. I found the bank statements 2 months ago, he said quietly. The embezzlement. I confronted you. You promised to stop, to get help. But you kept spending, kept pretending. And I realized you were not just stealing from the firm. You were stealing from yourself, from the person you used to be. Sarah nodded, tears dripping off her chin onto her expensive cream pantsuit. I was scared, she said, scared that if I stopped pretending, everyone would see I was just the girl whose mother died, the girl who wore hand-me-downs, the girl who needed her aunt to save her. She looked at me. I wanted to be someone who did not need saving anymore. But you did need saving, I said gently. We all do. That is not weakness, Sarah. That is being human. Marcus stepped closer to Sarah. He still held the divorce papers, but his grip was looser now. I filed these papers because I could not watch you destroy yourself anymore, he said. But they have not been served to the court yet. They are not official. They can be withdrawn. Sarah's head snapped up. What? If you get help, Marcus said, real help, therapy, financial counseling, if you work with the firm to make this right, even if it takes years, if you stop pretending and start being honest, then maybe, he paused, breathed. Maybe we can find our way back to each other. But the woman I married has to actually exist, not the performance, the real person underneath. Sarah's face crumpled again, but this time it was different. Not shame, relief, painful, overwhelming relief. I want that, she whispered. I want to be real again. I don't even know who I am anymore, but I want to find out. Marcus nodded slowly. Then he did something that surprised me. He looked at me and said, would you be willing to help her? Not with money, with honesty, with accountability. You are the only person she has never been able to fool. Not really. I looked at Sarah, at this woman I raised, this girl I loved like a daughter, who hurt me today, who had been hurting herself for years. Yes, I said, but there have to be rules, no more lies, no more pretending, and you have to tell Maya the truth about who really paid for her school. You have to tell all of them. I gestured to the family. Sarah nodded quickly. I will. I promise. I'll tell everyone. I'll make it right. Dorothy stepped forward then. Her face was wet with tears. She walked right up to me and pulled me into a tight hug. Thank you, she whispered against my shoulder. Thank you for David, for keeping my baby alive. Aunt Patricia came next, then Jerome, then others. One by one, they hugged me, thanked me. Some apologized for not seeing, for not knowing, for letting me struggle alone. I stood there in my pale blue dress with the yellow flowers, and I let them hold me, let them see me, really see me. When they stepped back, Sarah was watching. Her face was raw and open, vulnerable in a way I had not seen since she was 12 years old and grieving her mother. I am going to make this right, she said. I do not know how long it will take. I do not know if I can ever really make up for what I did today, but I am going to try, starting now. She turned to the family. Everything Aunt Emma said is true. She paid for Maya's school. I lied and took credit. I have been lying about a lot of things. About who I am. About what I have. And I am done lying. Marcus put his hand on her shoulder. Not romantic, just steadying. We will figure it out, he said, one day at a time. Sarah looked at me. Will you forgive me? I thought about that question. About forgiveness. About what it costs and what it gives. Yes, I said finally. But forgiveness does not mean forgetting. It means choosing to move forward even when it hurts. It means trusting you will do better. And I am choosing to trust you, Sarah. Do not make me regret it. I won't, she said. I promise I won't. The reunion continued after that, but it was different, quieter. People spoke in smaller groups. There was less laughter, but more truth, more realness. Sarah sat with Maya on the back steps and told her everything. I watched from a distance as Maya cried and then hugged me so hard I thought my ribs might crack. Marcus found me by the punch bowl an hour later. I'm sorry I ambushed you like that, he said, with the estate planning information, but I needed everyone to know you deserved that. Thank you, I said, for seeing me when no one else did. He nodded. My mother was a nurse, he said quietly. She worked herself to death, taking care of everyone else. I saw her in you, and I could not stand watching Sarah treat you the way the world treated my mum, like you were less than, like your work did not matter. It matters, I said. It always mattered. I know, he said. Now everyone else knows too. As the sun began to set and the family started packing up food and folding tables, Sarah came to me one last time. Her face was cleaned up, makeup washed off. She looked younger, more like the girl I remembered. Can I come visit you? She asked. Next week? Just us. I want to start over. I want to learn how to be the person you raised me to be. Yes, I said. Come Tuesday evening. I will make you dinner. We will talk. Really talk. She hugged me. And this time, she was not stiff. She was soft, present, real. I drove home that night in my old Honda, still wearing my pale blue dress, and I felt something I had not felt in years. Peace. Not because everything was fixed. It was not. Sarah had a long road ahead. Marcus had a broken marriage to rebuild or let go. The family had truths to process. But I had spoken my truth. I had stood in my own worth. And I had chosen grace over bitterness. That is success. Real success. Not money. Not status. Not the perfect life on display. But the quiet strength to love people even when they hurt you. To give without needing credit. To stand tall even when the world tries to make you small. Friend, thank you for staying with me to the end of this story. If you believe that true strength is not in how we fall, but in how we rise and how we lift others while we rise, please subscribe to this channel. Hit that like button. And tell me in the comments, have you ever had to choose between being right and being kind? What did you choose? I have another story for you. It should be on your screen now. A story about a mother-in-law, a missing necklace, and a 20-year-old lie that finally came to light. I hope to see you there. Until then, remember, you are not measured by what you have, but by what you give. And that, my friend, is everything.